And we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Welcome.
Lou.
Welcome to
Happy
Coach's
Sunday.
Corner. This is extremely powerful Coach's Corner session. And we're tapping into chapter 3 of the Science of Getting Rich book by Wallace D. Waddles. We're talking about money, abundance, a shift in lifestyle, mindset as well. So, it's not going to be a long intro this time, I tell you. Without further ado, my name is Jamel Matias. I'm a certified mindset success coach slash business consultant. I'm based in the Maryland area. I work with individuals, entrepreneurs, and businesses. And my purpose is to reveal the hidden potential that's already within you and guide you to your truest desires. It's all about believing in the unseen, basically believing in that goal and believing in yourself. And I help guide you there. And we're going to talk about some amazing things today. And it's always a privilege and an honor. And I'm always so grateful to share this material for one, but with my amazing, awesome colleagues. And you're going to just feel this powerful energy today, what we're talking about. And I'll pass it to my amazing colleague, Alicia.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alicia Espinosa. I am a certified mindset and values coach, and I am in Sweden. And I help people to create a life that feels good on the inside, not just looks good from the outside. And also, I help leaders to create to be leaders worth following so they can create a safe and trustworthy workplace. Thank you, Lou.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us. So, my name is Lou Perica, and I am a success mindset coach as well. And what I do is I help growth minded women who may be feeling stuck or unfulfilled just reconnect with their magnificence. And so they can step into a life of prosperity and purpose and joy. And I'm excited about talking about this week's chapter, opportunity monopolized. And last week we talked about really the law, the science behind getting rich. So I'm looking forward to this week talking about is opportunity monopolized. Paul.
Thank you, Lou, and good morning or good afternoon to everyone who's tuning in. My name is Paul Wooters. I'm from Burlington, Ontario, Canada, and I'm a success mindset coach, Proctor Gallagher consultant, and director of interpotential and personal mastery at the World Life Education Center and High School here in Oakville. And how did this all happen? It happened by studying and applying the principles, the success principles and growth principles that we talk about every week, that we teach and take individuals through. And I help you live the life you want, to create the life that you want with intention and by design rather than by default, and help you live to your greatest possibilities. Jamel.
Oh, this is going to be amazing. Welcome to Coach's Corner. Everybody, this is going to be so important because every subject that we mention here is connected to basically your results in life and the abundance that you tap into. And last week was really touching on the science of getting rich. What was it? The first principle, I believe? Was it?
No.
No, sorry. I'm jumping the gun there. Last week, we basically talked about there is a science of getting rich.
Mhm.
So, with richness is there for you with mathematical certainty. It's a science. So, it is available to you. So, I'll say it at the top of the hour here. Reach out to one of us if anything is shared here that speaks to you. And definitely, if you desire more out of your more richer and fuller life and more money, right? Why not? Um, And I'm sure we'll share some awesome stories here and some expressions as well. And feel free to reach out to any of us. Our call links are in the description and comments area on your respective platform that you're viewing this. And don't let this just be entertaining for you or motivating. Use this material because it's meant for your growth. So right off the top here, we're talking about chapter 3, is Opportunity Monopolized. And first of all, this book is monumental. The Science of Getting Rich. It is monumental. All right. There's so much in here. It's quick read, but it's very potent words, right? Like each sentence, you're like, wow. So right off the top, speaking of first sentence, this will dive right in. I think the first sentence, no person is kept poor because opportunity has been taken away from them. Wow. No person is kept poor, right? Is opportunity monopolized? That's the chapter. That is the title of the chapter. So if you're basically not having the wealth that you desire or the riches that you desire, you're not being kept there, right? We're the only problem and the only solution. So that is a great way to start this because nothing's being taken away from you. And further in the chapter, he talks about the abundance of life and how to do things in a certain way and how that certain way taps into the abundance and the laws of our being. So when you think that opportunity is taken away from you, it's kind of like you're blaming, right? You're blaming things outside of yourself, right? Oh, I can't get this income because I couldn't get into this degree or this certification or whatever, or they're holding me back, or my wife won't let me, and my husband won't let me, etc. Right? You're blaming things outside of yourself, meaning you are you're giving your power away, basically, when you think something else is holding you back. Did anybody resonate with that first sentence in that chapter? I think that was the first sentence.
It is, yeah. Well, what I'll hop in. When I read this particular chapter, and again, the book is very small, it's powerful, but it gets right to the core beliefs. So you have to ask yourself, what is my internal belief system about why I can or cannot do something or achieve something, or in this case, be rich? Where does that, what are your beliefs about that? So just going back to my real estate days, it was what I thought at that time and what was introduced to me in a way that it's a highly competitive industry, right? And we would hear, how to crush the competition, right? And I would hear words like that. So that helped cultivate a belief in me at that time that it was, all about competition. And there were some agents or teams that were doing unbelievable at what I thought at that time was unbelievable. How could they possibly do that much volume in transactions? So I had the belief system that those particular agents or real estate companies monopolized the majority of the industry. And it wasn't until I learned that amateurs compete and professionals create. And that's when I started getting into this industry. And I started to realize, oh my goodness, I can really create my own economy. But I have to come up with creative ideas. And that's what we were talking about in chapters 1 and chapters 2. And even in the prior Coach's Corner, You Were Born Rich. It's starting to use your imagination. Don't do what everyone else is doing, create your own opportunities. Think about it. It's funny because in this particular book, they were talking about um, getting into there's opportunities now into the electric train system, and that air transportation was still in its early stages. And this when Wallace D. Waddles wrote this book. But now when you think about it, like AI, like so everything starts to shift. Now AI is becoming the big thing, or is, because it's already here, right? So opportunities are always shifting. So you really want to tap into what it is that you love, what excites you, what do you truly want to desire, who do you want to be, and how do you want to grow, and then you will discover the opportunities within those desires. Paul?
Yeah, that's so well said, Lou. And the thing that really stood out for me when you were speaking was the belief, right? There's a common belief that opportunity is limited or it's controlled by, a certain select group of people or a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that's when Wallace Waddles wrote this book back then and through history and through time, that was the belief. That's the belief system even today. And, he's going to refute that or reject that because he says opportunity is not monopolized. As Lou said, there's just a different way of doing things. Wealth isn't reserved for certain groups or certain industries or classes. Even if some of these areas or sectors seem crowded or controlled, there's always new ways to create value. There's always new ways to create value. And Lou went on to speak a little about being creative versus being competitive, right? If you're looking at opportunities as being limited, then you're strictly operating from a competitive mindset, believing there isn't enough to go around. But the truth is that the opportunities are limitless when you approach them with creativity, and you have to really be creative. There's always a new or a better way or a different way of doing things. There's always that. You have to look at that. But if you're trying to do it the same as everyone else and trying to compete them, then the opportunities are very much going to look limited, but they're not. But you just have to be creative. That's why things are always changing. There's always new innovations because those people are thinking with creativity.
Yeah. I when I read the is the opportunity monopolized, and I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she say, yeah, she has a daughter, is 22, and she has um, graduated from the university, and she say she is so lucky because she got a job. They call her. And I say, you cannot say that she is lucky because she has been preparing herself from when the opportunity comes, she is prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that many people think that some people are lucky and other not.
Mm.
That, yeah, but you are lucky. And I say that I am from Panama. I live in Sweden. I am coming from very humble beginnings. And the thinking for me was, okay, what can I do for my future? And starting working. And I decided to go to the university also. And I started to work. And then I have opportunities that I wanted to share with some friends that I had, and they say, yeah, but it's because you have more energy to do this because you are so lucky, you have a very good job. And for me, it was like not respecting me, telling me that I am lucky without seeing all this job that I have been done. So I always say you start to work with your mindset and preparing yourself when because then you will see a lot of opportunity. You know, there is no just lucky. You are lucky. For me, lucky. You are lucky to get this. Is the sitting in your sofa watching TV and somebody knocking your door and say, "Here, do you have an opportunity?" Is nothing come that the opportunity is there. You need to think in a certain way, to do in a certain way, so that you can see the opportunities. The opportunities are there, but sometimes I don't know. I think that a lot of people think that it's just lucky. Uh, you do this because you are lucky. You think in that way because you are lucky. Don't think that I have done a lot of job in myself, things that I didn't like it to do, but I did anyway because I wanted to be prepared when the opportunity came. And I got last week I was in Norway doing a job. And also, I told a friend that, it was a company calling me and asked me if I wanted to do a job in Norway. And she said, "You are so lucky." No, I was preparing myself from when the opportunity came.
Yeah.
You know, is that the opportunity is, I have my opportunity glasses here. So it's like you need to prepare yourself to see the opportunity. Because if you don't prepare yourself, you will not see them. You will never do that. This is my opportunity glasses. Yeah, that was the first thing that it came to me about the opportunity. If is that monopolize it, that many people think that it's only the luckiest ones that get the opportunities. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Where is it? There it is. All right. That never gets old. I love it. And that's, it's interesting because luck, it's a word that was made up to describe unknown causes, right? So people say lucky because they're looking from the outside,
Yeah.
right? They're looking at, oh, Alicia did that. She's lucky. Lou earns that amount of money. Oh, she's lucky. Paul did that. Oh, he was lucky because of this, right? And think about that. When you say that, you're coming from a lack mindset, right? Which is not knowing who you are or the laws of our being. And when you think about having like opportunity basically being taken away from you, that is also coming from a competitive mindset, right? We mentioned here it's creative or competitive. And sadly, competitive, it ends with the same energy that you created with. And being creative, you can create whatever you want. And he says in this chapter, you can go wherever you want and have whatever you want in a certain way. Being in a certain way, acting in a certain way, thinking in a certain way. And that certain way is being creative with these laws that we're all a part of. And in different areas throughout the book, that's what Wallace is talking about. Competitive mindset would think, oh, I'm going to do more than this person to achieve whatever, right? You're competing, you're comparing yourself for one. And in another, there's like envy there because that's a lack mindset. And coming from that source, for one, is exhausting and you don't have all of your power. And it ends, it's a horrible way to create because it's coming from a negative pole. The law of polarity is negative and positive. So when you said luck so many different times, I was like, luck. It's just a made up word, and that's a word that's made up for people that don't understand this at a high level. That's why we're here to talk about it, right? To talk about the opportunities that are available for you that you don't see right now. That's just waiting for you to grow, to even invest in yourself and mentorship. As soon as you take that action, you start seeing differently. You start acting differently. I know I did. And, and I'm sure all my colleagues here as well. When you start learning about yourself and investing in yourself, you're serious. And you're not coming from a competitive state. You're here to create the life that you want. And that's why you're viewing, because you attracted us, right? So it said also, this is the kind of tie in what Lou was sharing about the different industries. It says at different periods, the tide of opportunity sets in different directions according to the needs of the whole and the particular stage of social evolution which has been reached. So that was so powerful because he talks about the railroads. We don't really talk about railroads anymore. And then he talked about the electric railroad. I know we have that as well. We got the speed trains in Paris and China and etc. And then he talked about the airlines, how, these different industries are monopolized. And Lou mentioned, guess what? We're in the digital era, right? AI, even digital currency, Forex, Bitcoin was like one of the first. What's the other one? Digital currencies, right? Crypto, that's what I was trying to remember. So now you got all these different new industries, and he's talking about how opportunity is always there. And for those that don't see that, if you say whatever you say, you're right. So I can do that. You will be right. I can't do that. You will be right. All the opportunities are gone. You're right. So you're defining your own life, your own future by the power of your words and your thinking, right? So he talks about how basically there's opportunity always moving in flux. And I like how he said, according to the needs of the whole. And what do you think the whole is? That could be a whole new conversation. But, that's the thinking stuff, which is spirit, or this is my belief. I think it's spirit or God or oneness with the all, right? So, and then he says particular stage of social evolution, which has been reached. So it flows, it's in flux, it moves. So industry always moves, money always moves, and certain things, opportunities are always there. You just got to tap into that abundance. I know that was a mouthful, but I wanted to kind of share that next step there, what you're referring to, Lou, and also luck and mindset as well.
It's funny that I have that highlighted, that exact sentence.
There you go.
And it's such a powerful sentence because just like you says, according to the needs of the whole in the particular stage of social evolution. So I was thinking about, I know Bob has mentioned this or we've heard this. Think about the person that created the first chair, right? So that was an original idea. So perhaps they were sick and tired of sitting on a cold, hard ground. So, and, getting way down and maybe getting up was more difficult. So they had an idea. So maybe they had, I don't know, a tree stump or whatever it may be. And then maybe they wanted to put some leaves upon it to make it, or some furs to make it softer, whatever it may be. That was the original idea. And then we have synthetic ideas. So as evolution grew and expanded, The original idea, again, perhaps it was a tree stump with fur on top to make it softer. Then we had, love seats, the swivel chair, the recliner. So these are synthetic ideas. So these were opportunities to build upon an original idea. So there's so many things out there that we can ask ourselves, what needs to be improved? What area of whatever can be better? These are all opportunities, and they're not limited to only a certain group of people or a certain industry. They're for everyone. But more importantly, to ask of yourself, where can I improve? Where in my life can I be better? And when I say improve, there's nothing wrong. You don't have to fix yourself. You're perfect. We're all perfect just the way we are for today. Because all of our thoughts, feelings, behaviors, results have gotten us to this point. But we continue to grow. So we all have the opportunity to ask ourselves, where else in my life can I grow? And we are creating opportunities for ourselves. Just wanted to add that, but that's a powerful line in this chapter, I believe. I definitely had that highlighted because, again, it's for the better of all humanity. It's for the good for all, not just, oneself, but for everyone. So this is why we talk about think bigger. What do you truly desire? Because until we start to explore what it is that we truly desire, what do we truly want to experience, we remain the same. And we're just repeating the same thing over and over. Even myself at times, I have to remember, go there. Because even when you go there, that becomes your new norm, right? There's always a new there. And while I'm here in physical form, living on earth, I would like to see new theirs. I appreciate my here, but I still want to explore there. And those theirs come with new opportunities. Because as you grow, you will meet new people. And you'll have different conversations. And perhaps find yourself in a different environment. And when you're speaking to different people and you're in different environments, you start to get more creative, different ideas from your past here. So there comes with new ideas and new experiences. And those are all new opportunities.
That was so good, Lou. It's really important, as Lou was saying, to really look at ourselves, look inside ourselves. Like, how can we change and grow? It's in our inherent nature, our spiritual nature, to want to grow, to be more, to grow, and to want more. That's our natural state, to want to do that. And so we have to look at ourselves rather than look at the outside and say, okay, what's everyone else doing? What are people doing? What's the world doing for me? It's what can I do? What can I do for myself and to humanity? What can I give to the rest of the world? But I wanted to talk back. Something came to mind when Alicia was speaking, talking about luck and opportunity and luck. And I love Les Brown, and I've seen him speak a few times, probably the greatest speaker in the world. And there's two quotes that came up that Les said. And the one is, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So
Mm.
just like Alicia was saying, you can't just, sit on your couch and hope that someone's going to knock on your door and say, hey, here's an opportunity. You always have to, you can't wait around passively. You have to be prepared.
I was late with that one. Sorry, Paul.
You have to be prepared and in motion for opportunities to meet you, right? So here's another one, Jamel, another one that from Les Brown. He said, opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor. So
That's an applause, not
Yeah,
a
I hit the wrong button.
you had the opportunity,
as both Alicia and Lou are saying, opportunity isn't controlled or limited. There's more than enough. There's more than enough for everyone who thinks and acts creatively.
Yeah.
Just wanted to add
That that was a good, Paul, because I wrote here before Les Brown, and it was because when I started as learning to be a coach many years ago, I was in a training in Las Vegas with Les Brown.
Mm,
And he was just because I was at the beginning, it was, and my mindset at that time, it was like in 2012, 10, 12, something like that. It was still a beginner's mindset. And it's, oh, what they are doing, maybe I need to do that. And I was comparing myself all the time and competing. It was that. So I went to Las Vegas to meet Jack Canfield first, and then Les Brown. And Les Brown talked about, and I wrote here, there are places for all the goods. So we don't need to compete. And he also say, Paul, what you say about opportunities, that you prepare yourself for when the opportunity come to you, instead of waiting that an opportunity come to you and you are not prepared to that. So it's always preparing for the opportunity. You never know when it come to dance with you, but you need to be in the dance floor, as Paul say. And then also I want to talk about first the Lou, you started before with clarity. What do you really want? Because when you are very clear with what you want, what happened is that synchronicity came in. You start to see things aligned with what you want. For example, if you decide, when I decided to, oh, we want to get a new baby, my youngest son, I started to see baby women with a big belly, pregnant, seeing people around with babies, and so the synchronicity start to kick in. Or when, for example, if you I got a new car from my partner in birthday present, and then I never seen that car before. And when I got that, suddenly it was that same car everywhere, because the synchronicity come in. You start to see things that is aligned with what you really, really want. And also that you also, Paul, you talk about that there is many different ways of serving people, you say at the beginning. And the innovation, because Lou, you talk also about the share and the new shares, and so the innovation is just a proof that opportunities are not monopolized. And the new ways of serving people also are there. For example, before you have taxis only, now you have Uber. or you have hotels, and now you have also Airbnb, and you have music in CDs also. Now you have also Spotify. So there is room for everybody, as Les Brown said. Yes, we don't need to compete to people. It's like follow what we really want, and you know, it's like preparing ourselves for the opportunity. As I told you, I did this job in Norway, and the I speak Swedish, and they speak Norway. What is it in English? Norway.
Norwegian.
Norwegian.
Norwegian. Yeah, they speak Norwegian, and the what I needed to do was like they need to talk their own language. So for me was preparing myself to understand the Norwegian, which is like, when they ask me to do this assignment, I say yeah, because it's aligned with what I want, with what I love doing, coaching leaders and doing a cultural assessment. But then when I say yes, you know what happened? I started my these guys started. They have a very good conversation here. Like, yeah, but she cannot Norwegian. And what if she doesn't do good things? And what if the result is not good? And back, they started to inject fear on me. So this is the thing that when we go outside our comfort zone, because opportunity are not in our comfort zone, they are outside the comfort zone. So it means that when we go outside the comfort zone, it's like taking the opportunity and only letting the fears be the passengers, not the driver. And it's why many don't have these opportunity glasses, because they let the fear drive them instead of they driving and the fears be the passengers.
So good. So good, Alicia. Um, so good. Wow. I haven't heard anyone say that like that way, about fear being the passengers, right?
Yeah.
And letting your opportunity be the driver. And as you were speaking, I was thinking so much about how we're in the technology era. I saw an email from Tesla about the Tesla robots, right? For like helping household stuff and farming, and so there's opportunity everywhere, and you just have to see it. And you know what, when you were explaining that opportunity, it's interesting, it's connected with intuition. When you desire more out of your life, you will start seeing and hearing that information that's being sent to you. This is why action in connection with acting on that intuition basically will give you a clear vision of opportunity. And he even says here in this chapter, this is so beautiful, there is abundance of opportunity for the person who will go with the tide instead of trying to swim against it. So have you been swimming against the tide? That's the person that, in my opinion, the person that has the mindset where they feel there's no opportunity left. And he talks about the poverty and the poor man that remains there. Those people that remain there are the people that are not looking at abundance, not connecting with the essence of who they are. This is why these sessions are so important, because we talk about who you truly are. And the more you stay in this rut, allowing your circumstances to dictate what you can even dream about or imagine, you will remain there. So to know thyself, that is the key. And the more you you know yourself, you're becoming more aware of the essence of who you are. This is not just coaching and mentorship. This is life-changing, transformational material that you should take very serious. I laugh, but it is of the utmost importance if you desire more out of life, or you can remain where you are. Growth is uncomfortable. We talked about that. We shared that here. But you have to change your perception. Perception is a mental faculty. Get excited about it. I'm changing my life. Each of us here are doing it. We're not doing it alone. We're bringing people with us. And that's the beauty of it, And why swim against the tide? Having this lack mindset, blaming everybody, blaming your circumstances, blaming the people close to you, allowing other people to dictate your own consciousness. Let it all go. Let all that stuff that holds you back and really, really tap into what we're sharing here. Paul, I didn't do you much justice there with hitting the wrong button. Would you mind sharing that second quote again about the dancing from Les Brown? It was so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he said that opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor.
There you go. I love it. I love it. So are you dancing with opportunity? Right? Or are you dancing with a lack mindset and remaining stuck year after year? Mm-hmm. Or just not dancing at all? You're just sitting there on your hands and watching and waiting and wishing and hoping. What do you choose? It's very profound when you think about it. Very simple, right? But when you think about it, you're like, wow, okay. Hopefully that made a point there. I wanted to share. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much mindset, right? That's what we talk about all the time. It comes down to that, and people will miss the opportunities, not because they don't exist, not because they're unlucky, but because it's due to their limited thinking. They don't recognize them, or sometimes they just don't believe that they deserve them, right? So
Yeah.
it really is that perception. As Jamel was saying, it's all about our mindset, and you just can't wait passively around. You just can't sit back and just be, comfortably uncomfortable when you know there is more for you out there. So you have to be prepared, and you have to be in motion. You have to be in motion for those opportunities to meet you.
I was thinking about what you say, Jamel, about intuition, because abundance requires courage. Mm-hmm. Courage and listen to, because intuition whispers where the logic hesitate. And acting on that quiet nudge require courage, because then when we start acting on those quiet message that we get from ourselves, we need the courage to listen to them and also the courage to act on them. Then many doors will open that otherwise remained closed. So yeah, that's I wrote that. Yeah, intuition. That was good.
Thank you. That was really good. Yeah. Good.
I love Alicia, how you says it takes courage.
Yeah.
It takes guts. It takes courage for the four of us to come on here on social media, be vulnerable, and help people try to understand and shift the way they've always thought, the beliefs they've always had, and the results that they've come used to, accustomed to. It takes guts to do that.
Can I say something?
Sure.
That it takes guts for me in the third language to do this.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, every person has the ability to create wealth through thinking in a certain way. And this is why we're here to share all of this with you. And this is part also of the social evolution. I think we're really tapping into consciousness more and more. Like if you're on YouTube or even Facebook, you're going to see more and more information like this coming into your feed because we're taking back our power. We're remembering who and what we are. So we need to be open-minded to allow new thoughts and new ideas to come in. You don't necessarily have to accept them, but explore them. Be open to this type of thinking. You know, the other day I ran into someone. I says, "Hey, I haven't seen you all summer. How's your summer been?" Ah, this is the second person I haven't seen in a long time. I said the same thing. "Hey, how you doing?" Ah, oh gosh. So, and people will say, "Well, you're not one of those positive thinkers, you know. You won't want to hear." And they're right. I don't want to hear, but they continue to tell me just the same. Um, but the point is, I've taken back my power to accept things, to accept and allow beliefs that I want to believe, and not to fall back into my old, limited, conditioned way of thinking in those beliefs. So now, the more my self-awareness expands, the more education I get, the more experiences that I have regarding this material and universal laws and how my mind works, the more opportunities I have, better conversations with people. Something will come across my feed that, oh, wow, that's awesome. But it takes faith, it takes courage, and it takes a commitment to want to see, geez, am I truly capable of more? I've thought about it, but I didn't think I could achieve X, Y, and Z. I never thought I could have more. I thought it was just like the kid that his parents drove the Lincoln Continental and picked him up and dropped him off at school every day. While I walked to school, I had frozen thighs from being in the cold. You know, I thought it was for other people, but now I'm experiencing it. But we need to, or we get to, I try not to use the word need, we get to have the opportunity to explore new ideas in a new way of living. I was raised in the 60s, right? So that means my parents were born in the 30s, give or take. So I have a combination of beliefs and ideas from the 30s and the 60s and the 70s that maybe not all of them apply now in 2025. So just food for thought, that everyone does have the ability. There's always new channels for creating wealth that are opening, but you need to be on the dance floor. I love that.
Me too.
Yeah, you know what? It's so true, right? And fear, like what Alicia was saying, like fear is being the passengers. And I love that too. Jamel said that. I love that too, Alicia. Because fear, you know, Alicia has those opportunity glasses. But with fear, there's no opportunity glasses. It's actually, fear blinds us. You know, it blinds you from seeing the opportunity. That's could be right in front of you. And opportunity will expand. It grows when you remove those self-imposed limits that you have on yourself. As Lou is saying, I don't think I could do that. It's someone else can do it, or he can do it, or she can do it, but I don't see myself doing that. So you have to remove those shackles, that cage that you've built for yourself, those self-imposed limiting beliefs. And again, it's that belief system that you have in yourself, and the opportunities are there. I received that opportunity at the World Life Education Center because I was already, taking this message on stage. I was doing public speaking. I was doing speaking engagements. I got invited to speak there once, then twice, then three, then four times. And they said, hey, you know what? We really love your message. Tell us more. Tell us more about the program. And so, but I was prepared. I've been studying this. I've been sending out the messages. I've been teaching this. So I was prepared.
No, you were dancing.
I was already dancing, right? And then I found a new dance partner. So it's beautiful, right? It wasn't just luck. I mean, I feel very lucky. I feel very fortunate, but I was doing the work. So I hadn't done those other things. That opportunity wouldn't have arrived, right? There wouldn't have been a knock on the door if I had just been sitting around. So yeah, so true, so good.
I love this. This is such a great conversation because we're all dancing. As you were sharing that, we all danced and we're dancing with opportunity. We wouldn't be here on this camera sharing this material if we didn't see an opportunity. And not only just monetarily wise, but an opportunity to leave a positive impact on this world and in people's lives and their families' lives. That's the true treasure for all of us, and we wouldn't be connected with that opportunity if we allowed fear to hold us back. Really think about that for everyone that watches this or listens to it. Fear, it's interesting. It can be seen as a good thing when you change your perception about fear. Fear is telling you where to go. I'm afraid of that. I don't want to, but you have to go that way if you seek the treasure on the other side. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So the treasure is you becoming more of what you really are. So we've been using this dancing analogy, but we had to face fear. All of us you see on camera, in some way, shape, or form, we had to face fear that we never had before in order for us to become more what the essence of who we are. So it doesn't matter what type of dance you do, tango, the jig, took it back,
The jig.
Running Man or whatever, right? I'm trying to think of more, but Pachanga, is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, that's a lot.
Merengue.
There you go. Thank you, Lisa. Keep them coming. So it doesn't matter the type of dance you're doing, but dancing with opportunity, right? There's opportunity right now. And connecting with one of us, will guide you to that opportunity, even if you can't see it, because it's all there, ready right now. And it takes action and to become uncomfortable. But you have to, like Paul shared, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And something that really spoke to me in the book here, it says, the working class may become the master class whenever they will begin to do things in a certain way. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how much income you're earning or lifestyle you have. You can change that immediately, doing things in a certain way. And what is that certain way? You're starting to understand more of it right now by watching these sessions. And that certain way is based on laws that govern our being, especially wealth laws and universal laws. So, and something else shared here before I forget, no one is kept in poverty by a shortness in supply of riches. There is more than enough for all. So for those that have a lack mindset and think that there's not enough, let this be an awakening. Let this rewrite that belief. You have to evaluate the beliefs that have been holding you back for so long. No one is kept in poverty by shortness in supply. There is more than enough and it's abundant. And Wallace talks about this throughout the book. There's abundance all around every day. And even went in detail about how soil would produce itself, how if you run out of gold, we would produce more gold, how farming, he went into farming and construction. There's an abundance. And whatever, he says man a lot, but whatever you believe, man, woman, whatever, you can achieve. And you can attract it, you can create it. All starts with your thinking. That's how powerful thinking is. And he was touching on that a little bit in this chapter towards the end there. So just a few things of food for thought.
I came with something just to and it's that remember that life is sometimes so because life is life, yeah. And then we set something like we start to be a victim of the circumstances. And it's why I have my poncho here, that is the victim poncho, you know. And you can have the victim poncho so there and stay there, and you decide if you want to have the victim poncho many minutes or short minutes. But as you have this on you, you will never see the opportunities because you are so in the victimhood that you will get your power away. And instead of thinking that, oh, everything is now bad, like everything is like this, it's like thinking, okay, I get the opportunity to decide here how long time I can be a victim of these circumstances, or okay, I give me the permission. For me, it's like I give me the permission to be a victim like 10-20 minutes. But then after that, it's like, okay, come on, you cannot be there, because then you will be the victim all the time, and then you cannot get the energy to see the opportunities if you are in the victimhood all the time. So I do this purposeful, that I put my calendar, my clock, like 10 minutes, depending what happened, 10 minutes to 20 minutes, just to give me permission to hate everybody, to hate me, to cry, to be sad with God, to deal with the universe. And then I say, okay, sorry for that. Now let's see what I can do myself about the situation. How can I create this what I want? How can I purposeful change my energy to what I want instead of what I don't want? That is very, for me, it's working.
Super interesting. Because we all have those thoughts that creep in, right? I think the beauty of learning this material, understanding it, having deep understanding, embodying the material, is when those thoughts come into my mind, I catch them. But sometimes they'll stay there. I try not to do 20 minutes. They may stay for a few minutes, but they come, right? And I remember hearing you can't always control the first thought, but thoughts from there you can. So what I do now is, why is this bothering me? What does this have to do with anything, right? Because I realize it's my finite mind that is conjuring up and having these internal dialogues, not my infinite mind. So that's what we're going to be getting into, and that's what Wallace D. Waddell starts alluding to towards the end of this chapter, and that's what we'll be getting into next week, is this formless substance. I got so excited when I started. I was like, oh, is this formless substance? Because this book was introduced to me probably 6 years ago, and I was speaking to another consultant who's not familiar with this book. And I said, it's one of those books that, you really should have in your library. It's short and it's powerful, but it will give you, it's very concise. It doesn't need a lot of fluff. It just gets right to the point. But this formless substance, I got so excited when I was studying that. But anyways, I just went off. So now going back to what Alicia was talking about, when those thoughts come in, I realize, oh, that's my EMI, my ego, my conditioned mind, and my identity speaking. It's not my truth. It's not my divine essence within me. It's just all the blah, blah, blah. So learning to separate and know the difference. Where are those thoughts coming from? They're coming from conditioned thinking. Those are thoughts are coming from, and they're coming into my mind. So I'm the only one who can change them. But I know now how to use my mind, what it's for. What does it mean what is a mindset? How do I shift it? Blah, blah, blah. What is paradigms? So now I know the tools, and I may have those thoughts for a few minutes, and then, you know what? They just feel icky, right? It does, even though we can, have our own pity party, it really feels lousy. So now I'm aware of my vibration. I go, ooh, I don't want to put that out there because I know I'm putting that energy out right now. So this is all part of why we do what we do, is to help you create just a better, more purposeful, joyful life, because life is so good. It is so good. I have never have looked at life the way I do now. I have a completely new set of eyes when I look at life. And it really, truly is beautiful. But it took a lot of studying for me. It took a lot of rewiring and shifting and questions on all the old beliefs. And I still continue to grow. But that's the whole beauty of this. But if I didn't have a mentor, if I didn't have the opportunity to learn this, I'd be right back where I was many years ago, just swimming upstream, right? Thinking that, oh my gosh, life is so tough. It's so difficult. Why does this happen? Why? It's just so much easier when you start to study yourself. Trust me.
Yeah, you know what Lou is saying is so right, and it's our own belief system, right? It's our own paradigms that we've been programmed a certain way, and we have to reprogram. We've learned something, we have to unlearn and then relearn. And like Bob always told us, he said it doesn't require any more energy to think of a big idea than to think of a small one, and it doesn't. We always go to that default of fear, and those self-limiting beliefs that we impose upon ourselves. And there's another great quote that I love is too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Right? We go to that. It doesn't, we go to that default fear, all these things are going to go wrong. What's going to go wrong? What's wrong with me? Or I can't do that. And you have to just turn that around. Why not? Why not, as Lou said, life is so wonderful, right? Life is so beautiful, and it's there for you to take. Every opportunity, like not everything works out, but every opportunity taken, even if it doesn't go perfectly, because they won't always go perfectly as planned, but they still move you further than standing still. They still move you further. And that is so, so important.
That's awesome.
Wow, such an amazing session, everybody. This has been so good. So much energy, so much knowledge stored here. Got to do one more for the road, because we all deserve a round of applause for that. And it's not ego, it's just wow.
It's
to celebrate.
joy.
Yeah, it's joy. And hopefully you receive that energy in this session through all of us. And speaking of, I want to thank everyone that was here live, everyone that watches the replay, and all those that engaged with us today. I see a lot of emojis and stuff like that. And, also what I would share here is what Lou got to at the end of this chapter, what Wallace is talking about. For next session, he says here in this chapter, and I didn't want it to go without being said, everything you see on earth is made from one original substance out of which all things proceed. So everything in your life until the physical life ends, or probably even after, but who knows, came from one source. And he talks about that source in the next chapter, or he begins to. And I always love talking about it. I'm getting excited thinking about it. But we mentioned a book and different things many times, and don't think just getting a book and reading it will change everything for you. I had this book for years, and I love it since the first time I read it. And then I listened to it in audio multiple times, but nothing was really changing for me. Why? Because I was just kind of doing it on my own in my conscious mind, right? And I love how Lou shared that you said your finite mind, right? Compared to your infinite mind. Guess what we tap into every day, over and over? Our infinite mind. And we help other people tap into their infinite mind and know more about themselves. So it's the application and accountability that would help you hit higher levels in your life, not just reading a book or just getting more information or getting motivated or inspired. I did not know this, but as I, saw that opportunity, remember, and danced with it, I was able to take action and put myself in discomfort and shed my old self. So we're all here to help you with this material. You're not doing it alone. We want to talk to you today. Don't let this moment just pass you by. Don't, because you'll go right back to your old thinking and you let your old results repeat themselves. We're human beings. Don't be afraid of us. And if something spoke to you, that's even more of a message. If you felt something that one of us shared, schedule a call with us. And we don't even charge for calls. They're complimentary. Okay? This is one step towards the future you desire. You got to love yourself and tap into that abundance that's waiting for you. It really is. It's not just in a book. It's through people. So, amazing session. We'll see you next Sunday. This has been great. I love this chapter. I love this book. I love all
the applause. We need the applause.
Yeah, let's get applause. I'm not going to push the wrong button. Yeah. And that goes right to the heart, Right to the heart. Okay. I had to find somewhere to use that. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing night.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.